1:45-ish. Ish. I'm on Mimi time, and Mimi's needed a lot of naps lately, so not quite sure. Uh, what time? I think it's like 1:45. I think. Um, we had a dear friend that was actually smoking racks of ribs, and David purchased a rack, and he was like, "It's time to pick up the ribs." So I assumed it was close to. I assumed it was close to 2. And I thought I will hop on here for just a minute and say howdy, do a check-in, and oh god, I look like Arnold Schwarzenegger when I do that. I'll do a check-in, and then I'll rest, because if David, hi Jojo, I'm Mimi Liz now. Hi Nat. If David and I do a couples check-in today, it will be later than normal because we've got so much going on. I don't know how much later. I just know that when he gets back from picking up his smoked ribs that he ordered, he's going to eat them. Well, not all of them, but some of them. And then he is going to get... I just noticed my kitchen lights had gone off. The electricity's gone off at some point. Oh, well. Then he's got to do some more work on the fur shed. And then when he finally gets in from there, I might be able to talk him into coming on and saying howdy. That's twisted to heck and back. I noticed the other day when I did this, I looked scary. So I'm going to try to don't ever cross. And then I did it again. And I mean, I used to have muscles and you can see the remnants of them, but I looked scary the other day and I'm going to try to never do that again. Check in. The baby's getting to come home today. Her lungs are doing great. They're clear. She's got such beautiful hair. It is darker brunette, but there is a red cast to it. I'm not gonna lie. She loves to make faces, and she's got such expressive little eyes. And Haley came home. She came home from Georgia with her fiance, and so they got to go, and they actually got to spend more time with her than I got the day before, because the day before she was still being monitored really heavily in the nursery. So they had her, all day yesterday in the room with hi Misfit, and so Haley got to spend a lot more time with her than I did, and hold her and love on her, and so she was just in Auntie Wonderland. They left mid-morning going back to Georgia because obviously work and everything, they have to get back. She didn't want to leave. While Haley was in, we did a mother-daughter trip, and she got her 3rd piercings on her lobes, and then I raised my first toe to the middle. So I have a first toe that's really low. I made her put it in between my first and old second hole, but I can still wear little huggies and these down here, but they're getting, as you get older, your earlobes thin out, women. Why can't anything else I have thin out? My earlobes. Jesus. Anyway, so I got these put in the middle, and then I got a helix. And it's funny because my daughter was like, you're going to cry because you've had your ear, I've had it pierced all the way around before. And she's like, that's going to hit scar tissue, and you're going to be like, oh. I was trying to do a Pizza Hut order on my phone when she needled all of these. And it's actually a piercing studio where she did all the needles. It's hilarious. So we had a girls' night. Last night we went out for about an hour and a half, which was fun. Wore me out, but it was fun. The last 3 times Haley's been in, I have been in flare mode and in bed. So this time I was not in flare mode, and I needed to walk off that lactic acid that built up in my leg muscles from walking at the hospital. So we went to a local girl that I've known since school, and she has a body piercing and hair salon. I need to get my hair done too, y'all. Well, I look rough. And so we treated ourselves to a little marker of little Miss Ellie Mae's appearance into the world. So I had a bunch of piercings in my dates pierced too, but when I was sick for the last few years, I had to take them all out for MRI off, and then I just left them all out. So I need to get them all done again. So I guess I'm getting well enough to be back on the way to going back into that. So we had a great night. Ended up couldn't do a Pizza Hut order because Pizza Hut was out of breadsticks and pan crust in my area. How do you run out of crust? Your Pizza Hut. So we ended up having to go to Little Caesars and sit for 30 minutes because we had to get so much food to feed 2 big old men because they're big burly wilderness men that were here, Dave and Joe. So we had a good night. I'm tired. It rained. It stormed here. I went to bed thinking I was going to go to sleep, and then this massive Bo Echo storm slammed into us, and it felt like somebody had thrown sandbags on top of each of my knees and then just hit me with a baseball bat. And I was like, oh, fudge. So I was up till about 3 or 4 this morning and finally got to sleep. So I've had some naps. Well, I can't really eat it either because of all my digestive stuff. So normally if I go to Pizza Hut, I will get like a little pasta side for me, and that's about all I'll eat. But I was trying to get big man fill you up food for the guys. But they were out of everything. They were out of breadsticks. They were out of pan crust. Every time I do the order, it would kick back and say, not available in your area, out of stock. And I was like, and by the time I was trying to make this order, she had done pierced me 3 times and I still couldn't make a Pizza Hut order. And she's like, I'm done. And I'm like, okay, they're out of stock of everything. She's like, did you feel anything? And I was like, no, sorry. So we had to go to Little Caesars, which actually wasn't that bad. I ate some crazy bread and a couple of wings and it didn't kill me. So I did okay. But we had a really, really great evening. We just got Little Caesars not too many awful years ago, and we don't eat it a lot because I just prefer to cook, and we're homebodies. I was just too tired to cook for everyone last night. I had stuff thought out, but I was like, I'm not about to try it. I'm too tired. And so Haley and I had a little adventure and went and got pizza after several tries. So had a good night. I was laying there last night when I was hurting and couldn't sleep. And I was thinking, and that's when my brain goes down these rabbit holes. And I came up with these great things that I want to tell you. And then I forget half the time what I want to tell you by the time I wake up, because when I do sleep, I crash so hard. But, everybody is after Ron. Everybody is tearing people apart. Everybody's going after everybody, saying, well, you don't know what you're talking about. And they're just, instead of actually communicating, they're attacking. And I thought, well, I understand the foundation for this. And I thought maybe I should explain the foundation for this and why it frustrates me so much. When people are attacking other people, when people are attacking other people's perspectives and lines of thought or lines of intelligent deduction, or even if it's wrong, at least they're thinking and they're curious and they're putting it on the table and they're putting it out there. And that's how we sift through and find information. We put it on the table and then we start sifting. It's very important that we put it all on the table. And we've turned into a society where we don't want certain things on the table because we want to control the table. And that is because as tribalism in this nation has advanced, people are starting to more and more, instead of using logical deduction or critical thinking, they're turning more into a moral and epistemic way of thinking. Now, we all know what moral knowledge is. It's the knowledge that we apply to our belief systems that we feel is just and appropriate. Now, epistemic, you can say this word in so many different ways. I choose the short one because it's got epidemiology on the end of it, and I can't get it out because my mouth don't work that way. But epistemic knowledge is knowledge that is only created by our nature, our environment, our bubble. And so people are only basing their knowledge now on their moral and epistemic knowledge, which means it's very much derived from their world with absolutely no external influence, because tribalism has become such a thing, isolation has become such a thing, and we are not a communicative society anymore. Because when you can communicate, you can negotiate and debate. And if you can negotiate and debate, you can talk through things. And talking through things is not a way that a government gets power. It's a way that its citizens maintain power. So they're trying to shift the way that we logically deduce into making it an isolated and independent individual system that we just can't accept anyone else's. It has to be ours or our tribes. And so if I could have any one of you all go and look up anything, it would be videos about how people build epistemic knowledge, or how they build moral and epistemic knowledge, or how nature is affected by tribalism, or how tribalism used to not be a bad thing, but because of the last 20 years or so, has become very much, according to knowledge, a lethal component to knowledge. And it's just this huge change psychologically is taking place in this world. And if you challenge me on that and say, well, I don't see it, what are the responses we're seeing to the president's speech? I had to say that, and then it made me want to. The president's speech the other night. He looked like the Sith Lord that was about to bring out the Third Reich. Who thought about the way that would look? Who thought about the way it would be presented? Did you know that as the Twitter trolls came out and said it looks like a Sith Lord, he looks like the little guy with the mustache, and all these people are having these negative things? Did you notice how certain TV cameras were able to filter out some of the colors, and the colors changed? But only certain channels did it, the channels in support, because they were trying to soften the blow to their viewers so that their viewers would not pick up on it as much as the other viewers. And then there's been this whole huge argument online about if that was an angry speech or not. Now, I'm sorry, if you've ever listened to anyone talk with any animosity in their voice, you know that that was an angry speech. That was an angry speech. That was a let me terrify you and let me remind you that I have Marines behind me and I have F-15s and all you have are pea shooters. And that was an angry speech. And after watching that, I didn't watch all of it. I turned it off. I saw the imagery and I was like, F you, turned it off. I was like, no, I'm not playing to this power play, buddy. You can be Darth Vader all you want to be, but I ain't going to play on your Death Star. I just ain't going to. So I turned it off because I knew exactly what he was trying to do. He was trying to make his people feel powerful. Other people feel helpless and terrified. And the people that are willing to talk about it are getting attacked. Why? Because the people that felt empowered by it feel they can morally justify it. And their nature of knowledge says that is good. Their epistemic knowledge response says that's good because it fulfills my power drive. The people that disliked it are on the other side of the tribalism because they saw that it was dangerous and scary, and their nature, their epistemic and moral knowledge says, no, we need to run from this. But the people that are really in trouble are the people that are talking about it. Why? Because they don't want us communicating. Because if we figure out what they're doing to us, we might go, no, and come together. It's really easy to see. It's Division 101. Anyone that tries to make you react emotionally with fear, or is trying to elicit a specific response from you, is doing so to control you and manipulate you. Everybody's saying some really good things in the comments. Yes. So please go and look up epistemic knowledge, moral knowledge, tribalism, and how it's augmented and changed in the last 20 years. Please look up imagery. Look up imagery within presidents, wartime, and historical precedents for imagery, and go and see what that looked like and what it looks like we're going right back into. History does repeat itself. These people are not as smart as they think they are. They're repeating themselves. What they are is brazen and bold because they know they have power. Oh, yeah, you're pulling on your energy and they're against you. I keep preaching and everybody's like, I don't understand that. Energy is the biggest the biggest win or windfall in the world because it takes our energy to push their motive. And if we don't give our energy or we respond in a way that they don't think, we take it away from them. And they don't have what they think they had. And so I'm trying to teach everyone to respond with love, with grace, with an open heart, to learn to negotiate, communicate, debate, comment without attacking someone else's life, someone else's judgment call. Respect each other for building your viewpoint over all these years, but talk about it, because if we communicate and come together, guess who loses? The people trying to divide us. And it's all about energy, where you put your energy, because that energy feeds them. And I know people say, oh, it doesn't matter how I react. Yes, it does. Your energy feeds these people. It feeds these people. And it feeds the momentum. And if I really wanted to get right down to it, when it comes to the good, bad, and the ugly that we read in a lot of big books that have been shared all over the world, banned in many countries, and make a big impact in prison, the energy we put out is what controls this world. I fully believe that. If you think you've never seen someone with truly evil, negative energy, I have. I've seen them for you. I have looked into the dead eyes of people that have been murderers or sex offenders or done really horrible things. And I have witnessed what evil, concentrated energy will do to a human heart and a human soul. I fully believe that we all get a choice. But let me tell you something. Energy, we're batteries. We are just circuit boards and batteries. And if you don't think we can be hijacked, hacked, and manipulated, why are they wanting our DNA? Why are they wanting our blood types? Why are they wanting to give us, all this medicine that's supposed to be so, such a salvation? But then, the scarf lady comes out a year later and goes, oh, whoops, we knew that wasn't as effective, but whoops. Oh, your family stopped talking to you. Oh, you couldn't go to your grandmother's funeral. Oh, you couldn't sit by your dying loved one in the hospital. Oh, whoops. You're like, okay, you people are off. You people are off. They did all of that with the knowledge that it potentially was nothing. So if you think energy is not important, look at the last 3 years. And our loved ones that didn't have our energy, or our loved ones that turned energy against other people, or the divisions that are now in families, or the people that died alone, or the hospitals that were angrily kicking people out and treating patients improperly. I mean, boy, we went dark for a while as a society, didn't we? We went dark, and we're going to have to pick it back up. We're going to have to pick it back up, and we're going to have to turn this around. We're going to have to turn this huge Winnebago that's on its last axle around. And we don't have 40 acres. We're going to have to somehow, do the most amazing 3-point turn and head back the other way, because we're losing time. So that's why I say energy is so important. Your human body is not only what you live in and what you try to function with and what you try to keep peace with and make peace with so that you can have a long, healthy life. But it's also how other people manipulate you through your energy, through energy fields. We've all heard of the infra machines and how now we know they're all real. All these things they kept from us from a very long time are now suddenly, oh yeah, they're real. I just hate it when they do that. And if you know how the brain works and the circuit board of the brain, and you understand the electric impulses that go through the body, you understand that our bodies are completely hijackable. I mean, it's just a different hacking. And so I worry sometimes that we're not aware of how fragile we are, but we're also not aware of how powerful we are. But you have to be in the right frame of mind. You have to have the right heart set. And you have to have the right energy coming out of you for the right vibration to stay away above and create a boundary from all of this. And I don't think a lot of people understand how powerful their bodies are. And I know a lot of people are like, you're so crazy. And now, years after studying the brain, law enforcement, seeing other people's brains and understanding that brain scans and EEGs are now showing us criminogenic components for certain peoples. There's a pattern in the light up. We are circuit board computers. We're just very complex ones, but then at the same time, we're also very fragile ones. So y'all, this is something we got to work on. Yeah, Amy, you're very right. And a lot of people don't talk about this because they're like, you're weird. Okay, listen, I've been weird since the day I've been born. You're going to have to come up with better insult if you want to call me weird. Because I've seen way too much. I've done way too many pre-sentence investigations for courts. I've seen way too many weird court cases. I've seen way too many evil people. I've seen way too many people that needed to have a spitting mask, be in the strapped chair, be double shackled, and chained to the floor so that I could interview them for a court document. And no, I don't think everybody needs to witness that. But I think at this point in our society's life, we need to understand it exists. It's very important. It's very important. So that's why I keep pressing you all to look up the Wide Body Area Network, but look at it from a physical component. Look at it from your body's component. Look at all the hacks and stuff that's been happening to Upchurch since he's been speaking a lot of truth and making a lot of sense. A lot of people may not like the deep dives he's doing and the rabbit holes he's going through, but he's curious and he's getting a lot of hate because he's curious. Look at the people that are hating on him. People are so, I mean, they think curiosity and thought are obscenities. But they're perfectly okay with 16-year-old girls coming up missing, or official people in official capacities lying to us, or drug dealers walking straight across the border, and cartels taking up 500% new business in our nation. They're fine with all that. But don't you be curious. Don't you talk about it. You're obscene. Okay. You know, and we just have to sit back and watch people's behavior, watch how they react, watch their body language, watch their word choice, and see what motivation they're going after and where they're putting their energy, and we have to make a decision. But I really want y'all to start looking at that. And if Ryan or Miss Patty sees this, I know Ryan's overwhelmed with messages right now. I've got an IT person that is massively smart. Was in the lead of the internet creation when linking it worldwide, and she can explain all of this and just like, and it's like a duh. You know, I feel so stupid every time she talks to me. But she has given me a very specific video that would help Upchurch and his mother explain about the tech attacks they're being under. So if y'all see this, hit y'all up, check your messages, because I need to talk to you about it. So we've got a 17-year-old missing from my area right now. So I'm looking into that right now. But you want to know something? I'm having the hardest time even finding the young man's name. All the Facebook posts about him being missing are just gone. Do you know how often we miss young people here in this area? Never. But now that we have one, I can't find any information. Go look at David Pilatus, Missing Can-Am, or Can-Am Missing America Project, something like that. Go watch David Pilatus' channel. Go look at the numbers. Realize that most people that go missing on national federal property, national parks and federal property, and start putting it together, especially with the imagery of the president's speech the other night. And that's going to be my grand format for today. I hear my husband back, and I'm fixing to go eat ribs. Use your energy wisely. Love people, create healthy boundaries, and understand that you are a very powerful person and being, and that we can shift this world. And hopefully David and I will be back later for a couples chat, but it's going to be just like first stuff, and because David doesn't do this cup of talk. So I appreciate this. I'll talk to you later. Perfect timing. Food's here. Bye, guys.